Goalball is a Paralympic sport made to be played by people with visual impairment, which left them with no vision or partial vision. Like the great majority of Paralympic sports, it also came with the goal of better integrating people with poor eyesight. The goalball was developed in 1946 by the Austrian Hans Lorenzen and the German Sepp Riendl, in which the game consists of throwing a ball on the ground and scoring a goal in the opposite goal. The game being played with two teams and consists of 3 players each team. The game was introduced to the world in 1976 at the Paralympic in Toronto, Canada, and has been played at every Paralympic since. There are several equipment that the goalball players need to wear during the games. The first one is eye sheet. From the stipulation of IPSA, an eye sheet must have total light blackout and be of a size and shape that blocks out vision. It is clear that eye sheet must completely block out vision and light and equalize vision among the player. However, the ball may hit the eyes and face, so eye sheet must also provide protection. The function demand of eye sheet include blocking properties, fitting, and toughness. Next is chest protector. The function of a protector is to ensure safety, which requires superior shock absorbency and comfort. Apart from ensuring safety, a protector also aids the player in preventing the loss of competing power by allowing superior mobility and low elasticity. Recommended padding include elbow, knee, and hip pad. Remember that this type of pad are not required, but are strongly encouraged to be worn by players to keep their body protected. Elbow and knee pad of various types can be used to play goalball. Common type of elbow and knee pad used to play goalball include volleyball pads. Padded arm and leg sleeve can also be worn separately or combined with the elbow and knee pad. Hip pad are recommended to prevent or limit pain to your side caused by continuous sliding and diving. A good option for hip pad can be include hockey pad. For the ball weight is 1.25 kg and the ball circumference is around 76 cm. Inside the ball, there are 2 bells and the competitor orient due to their sound for the place of the ball. It is necessary to point out that the ball is not under pressure as in football, basketball, and volleyball. The ball is made from hard rubber. In order the bells to be heard more clearly, the ball has 8 small holes through which the bell sound is coming out.
Hi, my name is Cliff Cook. I'm a Recreation and Athletics Coordinator at Lakeshore Foundation and coach of the Lakeshore Youth Goalball team, the 2013 High School National Champions. Today I'd like to introduce you to goalball and show you some drills to help you get started. Let's begin by looking at some of the rules. Goalball is a sport played by individuals who have a visual impairment or who are blind. It is played on a hard surface court with the playing area being the size of a traditional volleyball court. The lines of the court are raised so that players can feel the lines for orientation. The game is played 3v3, where the objective is to roll a ball into the opponent's goal. When rolling the ball, the player must make sure that the ball makes contact with the floor after it is released before the high ball line. This rule prevents players from throwing the ball through the air at the other goal. Defenders are only allowed to defend the ball in their designated team area. Finally, there are noise penalties that can occur if players make distracting noises during play or the team on the sideline makes any noises at all during play. To begin with, every player must wear a pair of eye shades. Eye shades are blacked out goggles that do not allow the user to see. These can be made using traditional ski goggles and tape. Also, Targe is a company in Canada that sells goalball eye shades. You can find eye shades and other goalball equipment at the link below. It is also worth noting that goalball players wear protective pads that will allow them to slide and dive on the court. The goalball itself is a unique ball designed specifically for this sport. It is made of hard rubber and has bells inside of it so that players are able to track it while it is in play. If you are interested in purchasing a goalball, you can get one from USABA. Finally, the court itself is unique to the sport. Each line on the court, with the exception of the line-out lines, are made with string and tape so that players can feel the court with their hands and feet. Players should learn where different hashes are located on the court so that they can quickly orient themselves when playing. Players may also use the goal for orientation. Now that you know about the equipment used in goalball, let me share with you some of the techniques used. There are really two components of goalball, offense and defense. Let's begin with offense. When learning to throw the goalball for the first time, there are a couple of things to focus on. Every throw should be consistent. This means using the same approach, the same form, and the same follow-through. Because the players cannot see when they are throwing, they will rely on consistency to aim. The player first lines himself up using the court lines and the goal. They can then take either 3 or 5 step approach, whichever one feels more comfortable. Ball is released low in order to avoid penalties. Finally, the player should finish with a follow-through with the weight of the player finishing on the front foot. There are also 2 more advanced throws that the player should learn. One advanced throw is the bounce shot. If thrown correctly, the ball can bounce up and over defenders. The other advanced throw is the spin shot. For this throw, the player spins their body on the approach, which allows them to generate more power on their throw. When practicing throws, the players should not only focus on consistency, but they should also focus on accuracy. The court can be divided up into 5 imaginary zones labeled 1 through 5. Zones 1, 3, and 5 generally are filled by a defender, and zones 2 and 4 are generally the gaps. However, good defenses work together to fill the gaps. If this happens, the coach can let their players know which zones to aim for during a stoppage in play. Probably the most important form to master in goalball is the defensive form. The basic form consists of the player stretching out on their side with their arms and legs extended. The top of the body should be slightly leaned forward over the bottom of the body to help trap shots. Legs should be slightly spaced apart and toes should be pointed. The arms are also extended. Players with not as much strength can overlap their hands to create a stronger guard. Finally, the head should be turned back so that it is not exposed to the shot.
Classification. For the first one, which is B1, totally or almost totally blind. For B2, visual field of less than 5-degree radius. For B3, the last one, have highest visual acuity or visual field of less than 20 degrees radius.
Court layout. The goalball court is an 18 meter by 9 meter area, but it is broken up into 6 3-meter sections, which is neutral areas, team areas, and orientation area. Neutral areas. The neutral area on the court is divided by the center line. Both neutral areas measure 3 meters by 9 meters. Team areas. The team areas measure 6 meters by 9 meters and they are evenly divided into the landing area and the orientation area. The landing area is between the neutral and orientation areas, and the orientation area is closest to the goal. Orientation area. The orientation area is the most complex area on the court. This area is broken up into 3 sections, which include the left wing, center, and right wing. Each wing position placed on a line that is 1.5 meters in length and placed perpendicular to the center of the sideline of the orientation area. Each wing position also has a line or tick that is 0.15 meters in length that lies perpendicular to the front line of the orientation area. The center position placed on a line that is 0.5 meter in length at the front line of the orientation area. Team bench. 3 meters from each team's landing area is the team bench. The remaining 3 players on the team and the coach must stay in their designated bench area, which is on the same side as the team's orientation area, and have some part of their body on or behind the tape line during gameplay. At halftime, the teams will change bench areas and sides of the court they play on. For court materials, a goalball court is created with string or wire and tape. The tape is 0.05 meters in wide and it should contrast the color of the floor and the ball so that the spectators, goal judges and referees are able to see the ball and court clearly. The floor must also have a smooth surface. At the Paralympic level, a technical delegate from the International Blind Sports Federations, which is IBSA, will check and approve the surface of the court. Rules and regulation. 3 players on each team. Center and wingers in position, which is right and left wing. Use full body to block the ball. The object of the game is to roll the ball into the opposite goal while opposing players try to block the ball with their bodies. Bell inside the balls help orient the players, indicating the direction of the oncoming ball. Therefore, while play is in progress, complete silence is required in the venue to allow the players to instantly react to the ball. Tape will be placed on the court line to 8 players in orientation. The tape is 0.05 meters in wide and it should contrast the color of the floor and the ball so that the spectators, goal judges and referees are able to see the ball and court clearly.
Next, for gameplay, game will be played for 24 minutes with 2 halves. Coin will be tossed to choose either side or the ball first. Referee will call "Quiet please" before start the game. Referee will blow whistle 3 times and call play to start the game. Player must release the ball in 10 seconds. Whistle will blow 2 times and call goal to announce goal.
Featuring at the Paralympic Games in 1976, goalball is a fast and frantic sport played by the visually impaired that requires skill, tactics and split-second reactions. All the action is taking place here at the Copper Box in the Olympic Park. Goalball, the stats. The court measures 18 meters by 9 meters. Is divided into 6 equal areas and each goal set 1.3 meters high. Players must wear eye shades and must not touch them at any time unless agreed by the referee. The ball measures 24 to 25 centimeters in diameter and weighs 1.25 kilograms. It is made of hard natural rubber, but with holes that allow the sound of the bells inside to be heard as the ball moves. Goalball Essentials. Each team consists of 3 athletes, with the simple goal of rolling the ball into the opposition's net. Each game is divided into 2 halves of 12 minutes and is separated by a 3-minute break. Teams have just 10 seconds to throw the ball when in possession, and the ball must hit the floor at each of the high ball lines before crossing the goal line to be valid. Each player is permitted to make 2 consecutive throws. A third will incur a personal penalty, and the offending player is forced to face the next throw by themselves.
3 ways to lose possession of the ball during a game of goalball exist. What this means is a team will lose the ball and the opposing team gets to throw. The ways to lose possession include the following. First, premature throw. A premature throw is when a player throws the ball before the referee are allowed to or before play has been called. Second is pass out. If a player passes the ball to another teammate and the pass is missed with the ball going over the outside line, it is called a pass out. And lastly, ball over. A ball over takes place when a defending player stops the ball and it bounces off of that player and rolls over the center line. A goal counts when the ball passes completely over the 9 meters back line of either team's area. It is a goal no matter how it crossed the line, if it was thrown by the opposing team and or thrown or carried over by a team member. Penalties. There are 2 types of penalties that can occur during gameplay: personal and team penalties. There are 8 personal penalties and 5 team penalties that can be called. Personal penalties include short ball, long ball, high ball, eye shades, illegal defense, personal delay of game, personal unsportsmanlike conduct and noise. While team penalties include 10 seconds, team delay of game, team unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal coaching and noise. It is important to note that these rules and regulations are utilized at most levels of gameplay or are adapted for younger players. Penalty will go through by only one player will stay at the court to save the ball that thrown by the opposing team. Today I will show you and teach you how to passing and diving in goalball sport.
Sports Day for the Visually Impaired in 2000. That was sponsored by the Delaware Association of Blind Athletes, and I actually learned at the Little Bob right up the road. So I saw a guy throwing a ball really fast across a gym floor. He was wearing a #1 Team USA jersey. 16 years later, I wore that same number jersey for the national team, so that was kind of cool. Goalball is a 3-dimensional game. It used to be more of a 2-dimensional game, but you're rolling or skipping now this ball that weighs about 3 pounds, 1 kilogram and a quarter, across a gym floor. You're on a volleyball-sized court normally when you play. Goalball is a volley-type sport, so really quick and fast-paced back and forth. And the object is usually to stop that ball with your body. I'm not going to be blocking any balls with my body today, but we'll see how it works out. We do a lot of body weight motions, a lot of plyometric training. Goalball injuries probably happen less often than people think they should or would. One of the women's national team coach for the U.S. kind of says is when people see football players dive out onto the floor, basketball players dive out onto the floor, they think it's an awesome play, and it's something that we do 100 times a game. So there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of injuries to shoulders, some hip, some lower back, and some outer extremities, so wrists and ankles. Only about 15% of the athletes in the Paralympics are visually impaired, so there are a lot of people who have a lot of other different impairments who have this jingly metal that also has Braille on the other side. But it's pretty cool. It's hard to win a silver medal because you don't actually win. You lose your last game. Oh no, my ball's broken.